Hey, well, Merry Christmas. Good to see you all tonight. We're glad that you came. We're glad if those of you who are online, you are our Christmas Eve night crowd. So yay for you for being our night crowd. And we got a bunch of folks online with us tonight. So we're glad you're here. If you're new to Kingwood, we'd love to get to know you a little bit better. Or if you'd like to just connect with us, on the screen you can see if you'll type the word connect and text it to the number that's on the screen, that'll let us know that you're here. And if you're online tonight, our prayer team is going to be online throughout the entire service tonight. So we hope that you'll jump on there and connect with us. Or if you have a prayer request, we'd love to pray with you. I know the Christmas season isn't easy for everybody, and certainly this Christmas isn't like any other, right? So tonight we just plan to have you all here and have a lot of fun, okay? So you can already tell this isn't going to be quiet. This is going to be loud. That's why we called it a not-so-silent night. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and we planned some things that we hope will just make you smile, okay? So the Kingwood worship team is going to do a song that you already know called Mary Did You Know, and I know you'll recognize it. So would you give these guys a big hand? They've done a good job for this year.
Santa! I told you it was no good. We needed a socially distanced. The elves way better. That's your fault.
Well, who was it this time? Was it Tinsel or Jingle or Jangle or Gary?
It was Gary. But the whole floor's out, except for Elf Amber.
Elf Amber's all we have left in the
Santa!
toilet?
Oh, Santa! I don't know if you've heard, but the whole toy department's out. Everybody's sick except for me. Santa, I take my vitamins, I stay away from people, well normally they stay away from me, and I wear my mask, so I'm totally fine.
So basically, the hope of the entire 2020 Christmas line has been placed upon you.
It has, and it's a weight I'm willing to bear.
Do you have any toys ready to go?
I didn't think you were gonna ask. Well, here's the problem. So in elf school, I failed toy making. I'm terrible with technology, but I pulled all my strength together and all of my wisdom, and I have created the perfect gifts.
Why don't we take them for like a test drive and we can go offer them up and see if they're receivable?
All right. I'm gonna need. Okay, I'm gonna need this, Santa. I won't let you down. It's gonna be so good.
Ho, 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 ho! Hey there, little one.
Want to come in? Okay.
You have to let us in. We can't cross the threshold unless you welcome us. May we come in? Okay. Hello there. Hey there, little girl.
Dalton.
Hey, little Dexter. Come over here. I want to ask you a couple things. I've got two lists. One's naughty and one's nice. Which list do you think you're on?
Both.
So tell me, what have you been asking Santa Claus for Christmas?
I want a little stuffed animal carriage that holds puppies. Stuffed animal puppies.
Oh, gotcha.
I want a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, a Nintendo Switch.
PS4, Fortnite, and extra controller for
Oh, great. You never know. We might have something like that in this bag right here. I'm getting an early start on Christmas, and I thought I would go ahead and drop off a few gifts before Christmas Day.
He hopes it's a Dalmatian puppy.
Oh, were you hoping we could fit a Dalmatian puppy in here?
No.
It's moving a little bit.
It's toothpaste! I made it for you! Do you love it?
Wonder?
Yes.
I finally got hugged.
That's right. You're welcome. What-
Dave! I love Dave! Yes! Do you love it? Yeah, you can light stuff on fire.
What do you think?
You
Go ahead,
love
pull
it?
out. You look so excited. Go ahead. What you got?
It's my favorite color. Yams!
That's right. Potatoes and syrup.
Woo! As a necklace. See, look at that.
That's beautiful. And you got something to clean your shell. Some Armor All Original Protectant. What do you think about that?
Blue.
Oh, it's some caulk. What do you think about that, Adam?
Is that to pick up poop?
Yeah.
You got it! Oh my gosh, you guessed it!
Oh, they're magnifiers.
Cheapskates.
What do you think about that?
Well, I am colorblind.
That'll help tremendously. It'll magnify how colorblind you are. Is that not the best gift you've ever received?
What?
That's for all of your great ideas.
Oh,
What do you think about that?
I like it.
Yum, I mean, that's my favorite.
Are they the best gifts you've gotten all day? What do you say to Santa? You're welcome. How about a big hug?
Thank you.
You're welcome, little Sherry.
All right, Santa, I worked really hard on that. I don't think she liked it.
Oh, she loved it. I could tell.
Are you sure?
Oh, I read
'Cause-
hearts.
Oh, okay, all right. Whew.
This is not what I thought would be in that bag.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Santa after receiving this great gift? Where are your manners?
Good job, Dalton.
No.
I do have one more gift for you for being such good sports. How about some Reese cups?
My favorite.
Do you like chocolate?
Yeah.
Do you like caramel?
Yeah.
No.
Then you get Rolos. And unfortunately, Snickers has caramel. and peanuts.
Merry Christmas!
Apparently, you might not remember that time you hit your sister, but Santa does.
Okay.
All right, good job.
Do you like Hershey Kisses? Oh, I'm gonna find you some Hershey Kisses. God bless it.
You got Reese's. You like Reese's?
I
No?
told you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
I told you he was allergic to peanuts.
Thanks, Santa.
You're the best.
You're the best.
That's right, I am. Merry Christmas. Thanks, Milka. I'm still watching you, Milka, to make sure you're good this year.
What did Santa give you for everybody who doesn't know?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste? This toothpaste? Oh. What did you think of Santa's gift for you today? No, not good. Could Santa have given you better gifts? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the normal toothpaste you use? Yeah, that's not real good. That's not good at all. What do you want Santa to bring you at Christmas?
A puppy.
A puppy?
If I was Santa Claus, I would give everybody puppies.
What should Santa bring you next time?
Something electronic thing.
Something electronic, for sure. I really regret putting this much toothpaste in my mouth.
If I was Santa Claus, I'd give everybody a PS5.
Next time, bring me a better present.
A better present. You heard it live, folks.
Merry Christmas, 2020.
Yeah. Give those kids a hand that were tortured, right? Yeah, I just want everybody to know, all the kids in the room, that's not the real Santa Claus, and we'll have to wait till tomorrow to see exactly what he's going to bring everybody. But tonight, we do get to celebrate the best gift the world's ever received, and that's God's Son, Christ, which is what the real reason of Christmas is. And we're glad you came to finish this part of the celebration out with us. I want to share with you just for a few minutes, we've been talking about in this series the joy of Christmas. When God would send angels to the earth to announce things around his son's birth, those announcements were accompanied with great joy. And we have another one. It wasn't brought by angels, but it was supernatural. It was a miracle. So if you look at Matthew chapter 2, verse 1, this is the story of the wise men, and I just want to share a couple of minutes with you from there. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi, otherwise known as wise men, from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who's been born King of the Jews?" Here's the most important sentence. "We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." In other words, they followed this great big star in the sky all the way until they found baby Jesus. I think we read this verse, and a lot of times that we don't really understand the full gravity of what it means, because it seems like a detail in the story that we sort of overlook. But I want you to imagine for a minute what these wise men, these magi, went through to go find baby Jesus. They were probably from Persia, which is modern-day Iran, and they traveled about 900 miles through desert, across cultural barriers, language barriers, religious barriers, across national borders. If you were to put that in American geography, that would be like moving from Key West to Green Bay, Michigan. So you could see, Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'll get the right state in a minute, actually. That's a long way, and they didn't get to go travel, by Southwest or in a car. They were by like camel or donkey or something like that. But they crossed hundreds of miles because they were so convinced that the star that they looked at meant something. Now, here's what's interesting about that. There were 300 million people on earth at the time that Jesus was born. 300 million people. And many of them looked up and saw that star, but most people didn't follow that star to Jesus. Now, here's the question I want to ask you. Why do you think it is that those people saw the star and followed it? Have you ever thought about that in the Christmas story? How did you look up at the sky and see a star among billions of stars and say, this one's different? and it caused them to sacrifice time. It probably took them, some people say, up to 2 years to travel from where they were to where Jesus was. So that's a 4-year round trip. So why would they endure the cost and be away from their family and travel through desert and maybe even risk their life and sacrifice so much to, how could they be that convinced that that star was really a sign when so many other people didn't recognize it? And then, of course, they responded. You know, it's kind of it's one of those things where we say, if it was really that grand of a sign, wouldn't other people have seen it, or shouldn't other people have seen it? And that's kind of like saying, don't you think that when something really important happens in life, we automatically recognize it? But I know you know, and I'll tell you a couple stories about myself, we don't always recognize what's most important. So several years ago, I was at my office, and the phone rang, and my wife called, and she said, hey, the water at the house just went off. The water's broken. So what do you mean it's broken? Why is it broken? She said, well, it just turned off. And I said, oh. And then she asked me a very important question. She said, did you pay the water bill? And I said, oh, I'm sure I paid the water bill. I mean, is it that big a deal? Can't we just deal with it later? She said, no, I just got in the shower, and I put shampoo in my hair, and I can't rinse it because the water shut off at that exact moment. She said, I'm going to ask you again, did you pay the water bill? And I said, and you have this feeling, you know what I'm talking about, where you start getting this sick feeling in your stomach like, oh no, I think it's me, like I think I didn't do it. That's what happened, and I didn't pay the water bill. And by the way, you don't just call them when they pop over and turn it back on. That's not how that works. So I had to go figure out how to work all that out, and I figured out how to work all that out. But I paid the water bill after that. But you would think something that important you would remember, right? You'd recognize, but I didn't. One other time, I was on my way to my office. This was years ago when our youngest son was a little toddler. He was probably 18 months old. And I was just busy, you know, had a lot on my mind, a lot going on. And I was thinking about all the things I was going to do when I got there. And I rolled into the office, and I shut the door. And I got out of the car and went into my office. I sat down in my chair, and I just started. You ever have that feeling like you forgot something? You know what I mean? How many of you, when you go on a vacation, I do that. When I go on a vacation, like for the first several miles, all I can think of is I know I forgot something. I don't know what it is. And I had that feeling like, man, I know there's so much I got to do. I know I forgot something, and I can't remember what it is for the life of me. And just then it hit me, I left my baby son in the car. And so I wheeled around in my chair. I'm telling you, this is like a movie, but I wheeled around in my chair to step out, to go run back out to the car and get him. And there my wife is standing in the doorway with my baby son on her hip. And she gave me a look like, you know, how could you leave our baby in the car? Because you would think if it was something that important, you could never forget it or not miss it. But you know what? The value of something is not what causes us always to miss it or not miss it. And how did 300 million people look up at this star and only a few people recognized it? So I want to ask you a question. Is it possible that Jesus has been working in your life and you haven't recognized it? Are there ways in which Jesus could have been working like these 300 million people look up at this star and they don't notice anything different? Is it possible he's been giving you signs and maybe you didn't recognize it? Several years ago, I was on a plane, and I sat beside a guy, and the guy, we just struck up a conversation, and we started talking about how he grew up, and he had not really been in a church or a part of a church, and didn't really know what he thought about God. And so he asked me a question. He said, do you believe that God speaks to people? And I thought, what an interesting question to have on a plane. And I said, you know what, I really do. I really do believe that God speaks to people. And he said, what does it sound like? Such an honest question. And I said, well, he had told me a story earlier about how he grew up in a really rough neighborhood. And he said, I don't know why I stayed out of trouble. He said, a lot of the kids in my neighborhood got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble. He said, a lot of times they would be going away to do something bad, and there's a voice inside that would just tell me not to go. he said, so I didn't go. And I remembered that story, and I said, hey, remember that story you told me earlier? About how you had this voice inside? I think that's what God sounds like. You don't hear him in your ears, but there's this voice inside that says, don't go that way, or go this way. And this is kind of what happened, I think, with the wise men. They saw this star, and somehow, the Bible doesn't tell us how they knew. We don't really know how they knew. But somehow they saw the sun, and they responded to it. And I want to read to you what happened to them when they responded to it. In verse 9 and 10 of the same chapter, the Bible says it caused great joy. Verse 9 and 10. After they had heard the king, they went on their way, King Herod. They went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. I love this word overjoyed because in the original Greek language that the Bible's translated from, it's a really, really hard word to translate. We don't have an exact way in English to translate it. But what it means is it means like overwhelming joy. It means joy stacked on top of joy, stacked on top of joy. It's like they were joyful about the joy they had. They had so much joy, they were joyful about the amount of joy they had. Does that make sense? And so it's deep joy, resounding joy. And you know, look, I know at Christmas, everybody's life's not like a commercial. Everybody's life's not perfect, and everybody's life's not easy, and certainly not, on a year like this. And so Christmas is like a magnifier. If you're having a good season of life, Christmas tends to make it better. But if you're having a difficult season of life, Christmas makes it worse. And I understand that. And I'm not saying that somehow Jesus makes all those circumstances just go away. But I am saying that there is a soul-level joy, something that gets up underneath everything else that we know and rest in the soul. And so even, we have people in our church who've lost loved ones to COVID, and, all our lives have been affected somehow. And I'm not saying that all that just goes away because it's Christmas or because you pray. But something happened to these wise men that created overwhelming joy. They saw the star, they saw the sun, and they responded to it. So I want to ask you tonight a couple things. One is it possible that Jesus has been working in your life, giving you signs, and maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't seen them. Maybe tonight is one of those nights. Maybe tonight's a sign. But like the 300 million people that saw the sign, only a small number of them experienced overwhelming joy. And here's the reason that they did. Because they not only saw the sign, but they responded to it. And when they responded to the sign, they met Jesus, and life took on a whole different meaning. So I want to pray with you tonight. I want to ask you if you'll close your eyes for a minute, open your heart. If you're online, we have a lot of people worshiping with us online. Now I want to ask you if you just close your eyes too. This service is not as crowded as our last, but every person in this room and online right now and who will watch this on a replay, every one of you, every one of us is important to God. And I just want to ask you a question. Do you know the joy that these wise men knew? Do you know the peace? Do you know the forgiveness? Do you know the life? And if you don't, if you're not sure you do, if tonight you want to start a real relationship with Jesus, I just want to pray with you. So if you're online, I want you just to jump over in the comment section and say, I want to start a real relationship with Jesus. And somebody's going to meet you there if you're in the room with every eye closed and just your heart open, I just want to ask you to lift a hand and say, would you just pray with me? I'm going to pray with you right where you are. You say, I need to start a real relationship with Jesus. I'm not close. I'm not connected. I'm not right with the Father maybe. Would you just lift your hand? I want to pray with you right where you are. I just appreciate you being honest. Thank you for that. I also want to ask tonight, maybe this is, COVID Christmas. Maybe everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And I want to pray for you too, because I know that God has a special blessing for you at the Christmas season as we celebrate His Son. So if you need prayer online, you just put that in the comments, put your prayer request. If you're in the room, just lift your hand up and say, I need prayer tonight. Man, this is a tough Christmas for me, and I need prayer. We're just going to pray for you, okay? Right where you are. Thank you. You can just put it up right back down. Lord, tonight, I first want to say thank you for your Son, Jesus. And Lord, tonight, I ask you, if you're in the room or online and you need a real relationship, I want you to pray this. Lord, I ask you to forgive me of my sins. I ask you to wash away everything that I've done wrong. And tonight, Lord, I ask you to give me the courage and strength to walk with you, to know you, to follow you, and to be like you. And for those who say, man, this is just a tough season, maybe you've lost a loved one. Maybe this Christmas is empty for you somehow. Lord, tonight we recognize the sign of baby Jesus and the sign of this service, and we respond tonight. And we ask for your comfort, we ask for your care, we ask for your blessing, we ask for hope, we ask for joy. Lord, we ask you for the joy that can only come from knowing you. It sometimes comes in spite of our circumstances. And we welcome you tonight to work in our life in every way you want to. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Hey, if you are in the room or online and you prayed to start a relationship with Jesus, just text the word faith to the number we've put on the screen, or put the word faith in the comment. Look, in a couple hours, few hours, Christmas will be over. Then we'll go to New Year's and it'll be over. But we'll all still be here. And so it's important, if you're following Christ, that you don't do it alone. You need people who can encourage you and be with you and teach you and show you. And so if you made that commitment tonight, I want to ask you just to type the word faith, text it to us, or put it in the comment section, and we appreciate that. Our worship team has another song they're going to sing, a couple songs, and you're going to know some of the words to it. So if you do and you want to sing out, and let's celebrate Jesus together, okay? Thank you so much.
it's too amazing, Lord. Why you love me so, Lord, I shall never know. The precious Lamb of God.
when I get to heaven, that's exactly how I'm going to sing. I'm confident of that. Hey, we appreciate you so much just spending Christmas Eve night with us, and I pray tonight's service has been a blessing to you. We want to just give you something to commemorate tonight with. On your way out tonight, there's 2 tables by the main entrance, and we have a little wooden ornament you can hang on your tree that says, at Kingwood Church, a not-so-silent night. And so it's just our way to say thanks for coming and being a part of it. And also, we want to say to you, if you haven't had a chance to give this week or in the last few weeks, all our giving platforms are open, or if you're trying to get a gift in before the year's over, you can see our giving platforms on the screen there that are available. And so we thank you so much for your giving. It's made, a really hard year. There's been a lot of opportunity. We've been able to reach out to a lot of people because of your generosity. So we want to say thank you for that. And if you're online, our prayer team's going to stay online for a little while. If you need prayer, please jump in. We really do want to hear from you, and we'd really love to pray for you. I know this season is sometimes tough, so we'd love the opportunity to minister to you if we could. We've got one more song we're going to do, The Little Drummer Boy. I know you know it. It's going to be a good one. But after this song, there's not going to be a dismissal of any kind. We're just going to say thanks for those of you who are online for joining us. And when this song is over, if you'll just, dismiss in a safe way. And we're so glad that you spent tonight with us. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight.